The story everyone is talking about in the US today, and we have the latest updates right here. Welcome to USA News. If you don't want to miss what happens next, subscribe now. Here is what we know so far. Middle East ceasefire at risk. Escalating Israel-Hezbollah fighting threatens fragile US-Iran deal. A fragile peace effort in the Middle East is facing one of its biggest tests yet. Just days after the United States and Iran reached a tentative agreement aimed at ending months of dangerous conflict, renewed fighting between Israeli forces and Hezbollah in southern Lebanon is threatening to unravel the entire process. And the stakes could not be higher. The agreement was designed to do more than stop active fighting. It was intended to open the door to broader negotiations involving Iran's nuclear program, economic sanctions, regional security, and the future stability of one of the world's most critical energy corridors, the Strait of Hormuz. But now, as violence continues in Lebanon, questions are growing about whether diplomacy can survive on the battlefield. At the center of the crisis is Hezbollah, the powerful Iran-backed political and military movement based in Lebanon. For decades, Hezbollah and Israel have been bitter enemies, engaging in repeated conflicts that have shaped the security landscape of the Middle East. The latest tensions are rooted in a long and complicated history. Following the outbreak of the Gaza war in 2023, Hezbollah launched cross-border attacks against Israel in support of Palestinians. Israel responded with extensive military operations, leading to months of escalating violence. The conflict intensified further after the death of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, a major turning point that reshaped the balance of power within the organization. Although a ceasefire agreement was reached in late 2024, the situation remained fragile. Both sides accused each other of violations, and military operations never fully disappeared. Now, new clashes are threatening to push the region back toward a wider conflict. According to reports, ongoing Israeli military operations in southern Lebanon have become one of the most sensitive issues surrounding the recent U.S.-Iran understanding. The framework reportedly calls for a halt to hostilities across multiple fronts, including Lebanon, while seeking guarantees that armed groups would refrain from launching attacks. The goal is simple in theory but extremely difficult in practice: stop the fighting long enough to allow diplomacy to move forward. Those diplomatic efforts are now focused on Switzerland, where American and Iranian officials are expected to continue negotiations. The talks are viewed as a critical opportunity to address some of the most challenging disputes between the two nations, including Iran's nuclear ambitions and the future of international sanctions. However, every new exchange of fire in Lebanon increases pressure on negotiators. Observers warn that if violence continues to escalate, public support for compromise could weaken on all sides. Military actions often create political consequences, and even a single major incident could derail months of diplomatic progress. Meanwhile, reactions around the world remain divided. Some analysts argue that the ceasefire framework offers the best chance in years to reduce tensions across the region. Others remain skeptical, pointing to decades of mistrust, failed agreements, and recurring cycles of violence. For civilians caught in the middle, the situation is deeply personal. Families in affected areas continue to face uncertainty as they watch events unfold, hoping diplomacy can succeed where conflict has repeatedly failed. As negotiators prepare for another round of talks, the future of the agreement remains uncertain. Will diplomacy overcome decades of hostility? Or will renewed fighting in Lebanon push the region back toward a broader confrontation? The coming days could determine whether this fragile peace effort becomes a historic breakthrough, or another missed opportunity in one of the world's most volatile regions. Stay tuned for the latest developments as this major international story continues to unfold.